Are you thinking about getting into sim racing? If you've looked at different wheels, they can be expensive, and after using the Hori Racing Wheel Apex, there are some frustrations I had with the wheel, but I also have some possible fixes. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about the 5 things that you need to know before buying the Racing Wheel Apex. Let's get into the video. So, number 1 is that I want to talk about the brake and gas pedal on the setup here, and it is plastic, but they do give you a piece of added plastic to add extra support, and it kind of just goes along the bottom. Unfortunately, if you have a hardwood floor like me, you are going to find that the pedals are going to want to slide all over the place. And for me to fix this problem, I had to do 2 things. One was I put a small area rug underneath the pedals, and secondly, I put something in front of the pedals themselves so that way they won't slide forward. Now, another thing that you have to realize is when you are using the pedals, the force that you put on the pedals is going to determine how it wants to slide. Now, of course, if you want to spend the extra money, you can also look for products that help, keep the pedals in place. Now, for me, I don't want to spend any extra money at the moment, so just pushing them up against the wall and having a rug underneath them is going to do exactly what you need it to do. It makes it a lot more enjoyable, and you can actually use the gas and brake. So number 2 is on the steering wheel itself, and Hori claims that we can get 180 to 270 degrees as you turn the wheel, and every once in a while, so most of the time you're really not turning the wheel too much. It is pretty sensitive, which is nice, but every once in a while you want to take that sharp corner and you're just up against the wheel and it just stops, and you kind of wish you could turn the wheel just a little bit more. So it's not a complete deal breaker, and like I said, it doesn't happen very often, but every once in a while, you do wish that the wheel would turn a little bit further than the 270 degrees. It's something that as you progress and as you keep using the wheel, you get used to it and the limits of the wheel itself, but it's just something to keep in mind if you are going to pick up this wheel. Third thing about the wheel that you should know is that it is a little bit small. I think it's about 10 to 11 inches across. It is compared to a regular wheel on a car. If you have ever driven a car, they're pretty big and they're decent, where this one definitely shows like it's toyish and a very small. It's not a complete deal breaker. I do still like the wheel itself. It has a little grip on the side, which is very nice. It's very comfortable. Overall, it is a nice wheel. I think it's well built for the price point that it's at. It is a little bit small. If you are looking for a more realistic driving experience when it comes to sim racing wheels, then you might want to look at another option, but I think at the lower price point, you're mostly going to find wheels that are a little bit smaller, so they can save you money. If this is your first racing wheel, you might be a little bit frustrated on the learning curve when it comes to your racing performance. Like, man, I thought I was pretty good with controller, and then I started using the Hori Racing Wheel and I was just all over the place. I was falling off the track. I couldn't brake in time. I couldn't keep a line. I was like missing my turn. So it's just something to keep in mind that it is enjoyable once you get used to it. But like, man, for me, I think it was like the first 5 hours at least, racing around tracks, I was just, I don't know, something was a little bit off. It's just something you should know, that sim racing is fun and it's definitely a learning curve when it comes to it. You might not right away get better at the game by getting a racing wheel. I thought maybe I would be better with a racing wheel because I'm good at driving cars in real life. It's a little bit different. Just keep in mind that if you are going to purchase a racing wheel, there is going to take some time to get used to your setup and to improve as a driver. All right, the final thing that you should know, number 5, is that this wheel has no features. And what I mean by this is it literally is just the wheel. There's no resistance, like you're driving it, there's no resistance on it, there's no vibration. Pedals are basic, there is a little bit of resistance, enough, I enjoy that the resistance is there. There's no features, it's not gonna vibrate. It's a very basic wheel. It really does the job well. If you can get through these things that may be frustrating, I think, you know, coming out on the other end, you're going to be very happy with the purchase. If you know, are thinking about getting into sim racing and this is in your budget and you're not sure on how much you're going to use it, that's exactly how I felt. And I'm very happy with the purchase that I made. So the last thing I forgot to mention is that there are no audio input jacks on this wheel, and I don't think many wheels do. If you are like me, I use a monitor and the monitor has no speakers. So to get around this, you can just plug in your DualSense or your whatever controller that you're using. And if it has a headphone jack, you can plug the wired controller into the controller itself. The PlayStation will connect the controller and the wheel together, and so you can use them both at the same time. So you can get your audio through that if you are using a wired controller. If you are using a Bluetooth controller, it's pretty easy. It's automatically going to connect to the PlayStation. Either way, you can find a way to use your audio with headphones. If you want to see my first impressions of this wheel, click on this video right here. Have fun gaming, guys, and I hope to see you in the next video.